Right, so this video I'm going to be showing you how to fix a belt drive in a Sony Walkman, and this one is the WM-36 model. I previously did fix a Panasonic RQC03, but it was a lot easier to kind of get into and do than this one, so we'll see how this one goes because there's a lot more things to be undone from this and stuff. It is a little bit battered, but it is very much still worth just putting a new belt drive in because at the moment it doesn't work. So first off, I'm going to get this clip off the back and it just unscrews. So that comes off. Some of them just slide off, but this one unscrews like that. And then you get a screwdriver. And the one I used, because the screws on this are a little bit fiddly, and I previously used this one on the Panasonic, which seemed to work pretty well, but I had to get one that was a little bit more, or a little bit less pointed at the end to use on this one. I've already undone a couple of the screws, so there's one there, and I think I managed to undo that one as well up here. So I'll just undo the rest. There we go. So that one. That's undone anyway. So basically it's got those three big screws, oops, where are you? Three big screws in the corners, and then it's got a little one there, and just to try and catch her out, it's actually got one in here as well. So it is just there, and you need to unscrew that, so you get the smaller one. Go, and that then just comes off, and that's what you're left with, is the inside of it like that. So that is the back, and obviously the good thing about taking these apart is that you can just kind of inspect to see if there's any damage on the inside, which there doesn't look as though there is. But with some of the backs of these, they just clip on and they have little clips along the sides, and you do have to kind of prise them open a little bit with a screwdriver or a little, you know, a small knife or something like that just to get in there. But this one, it just came off, so that's good. So then get tweezers. These ones, and you can see on these the belt drive, which is this elastic, so you've got some here and you've got some laying across here as well, and it's absolutely, well, it's falling apart, isn't it? It actually looks as though it might melt it as well, which is a bit yucky, but can get all that out with the tweezers. It's very carefully. It's actually just falling apart, this rubber, and it's really sticky. Some more under there, isn't there? Yeah, it's all just, it's gooey. Yeah, it's all just turned to goo for some reason, which is a bit yuck. I'll get the tweezers that haven't been gooed on. Oh man, that is nasty. There's actually a bit there as well. Yeah, it's all just simply fallen apart. And is pretty gooey in there as well. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll now dig that out, which may be the case. I mean, I don't know where this has been stored. It could do in a boiling hot garage or something like that, where it's just literally melted this. So what I'll do is I'll get back to you in a second once I've picked all this out. Right, so I've now picked all of the sticky, gunky belt out of here, which is now this little pile of stuff because it has just snapped and melted, and that's a pretty common thing for these belts to get really sticky and gooey and snap and stuff. So anyway, so that's what we're left with, and then the next thing to do is get some new belts, which I ordered, and you can get these eBay, Amazon, wherever you want. So you get two sizes in here. You get a little one, this one, and then the slightly larger one. And the larger one, with the Panasonic I had to use tweezers for this bit, but this is a little bit easier. Just make sure the belt isn't twisted round when you put it on here. Just start with the bigger thing here, you spin them a bit and just make sure they work as well, which is always useful to make sure that they, you know, that they work. Is just hook that, come on you bugger, hook that over like that, and that goes from that dark grey one to that central spindle, and then you can spin it and it twists and works. So then the smaller one, that goes round the small gold spindle here. So we'll start with the bigger one, put it around the little one, and then you can turn that, and that also turns. And make sure the belts don't get all twisted when you're putting them on, so as long as they lay flat and stuff, and you can twist them like that. So that's all changed, so that's fine. And now it's just a case of putting the back on. I mean, you can also clean out other bits of it, so if it is really, say for example, it's all manky where the buttons are, which you can get over time, I suppose, with people using it, or the headphone jack is all gummed up. Headphone jack on this one actually doesn't look too bad, so I'm going to try it like this, and just, there you go, clicks into place there, and then just get the screws and pop them back in. There we go, and the bigger one in there. And I've got the other two. Actually managed to remove these earlier, or a couple of days ago actually, before I had to bring in a bigger screwdriver to do the rest. So I'll just pop them all back in where they should be, and then screw them into place. Yeah, some of the backs of these won't have as many screws and stuff, so it might be that if you're doing a completely different model to this one, you're not having to do as much of this. Sometimes the screws also will get threaded if somebody's already been messing about with it before you, or the screws will get sticky or whatever. In which case there is a hack with an elastic band you put around the end of the screwdriver if it's a threaded screw, so you can actually get a grip on the screw. And obviously if it's sticky, you can just sort of clean it up. And then a couple of AA batteries. Oops. Pop them in there. And then this is the magic bit where hopefully it will work. Okay, took a minute to spare it alive, but that is now actually working. So that is it. That is all you need to do with belt changes. There are probably other bits and pieces that these things might need doing. There will be other videos of those and stuff that you can find, but that is just a simple, straightforward belt change.